Hey everybody, it's Harry from Slap the Daddy BBQ, the YouTube channel that teaches you how to master barbecue so you can spread barbecue love. You see me do episode 1 where I did a test on the reproducibility of experimental results of a guy named Jeremy Yoder. Jeremy Yoder runs a YouTube channel called Mad Scientist BBQ, and a lot of my viewers who watched his videos asked me to see if I could replicate the results of his experiment, which hypothesis was basically if you use beef tallow on the butcher paper, will you get a better result on your brisket, rivaling that of say Aaron Franklin. Aaron cooks a really great brisket. He's got a very famous restaurant in Austin, Texas. So I did that, episode 1. And for those of you who watched episode 1, you found out that yes, it did give a good result. So in episode 2, I'm going to extend the idea because I think that the tallow, which is a beef oil, will work better when put on the brisket instead of on the paper. So in this episode, I'm going to do a shootout of half a brisket using the tallow paper versus tallow mop. We'll share with you guys the results of this experiment, which I call redo 2 of 4. So this is going to be a part 2 of a 4-part series. I have 2 other scenarios I'm going to be testing, sharing with you guys all these wonderful results so you too can up your brisket game. In case you're wondering why I'm using such a ginormous knife here, I am doing the Dow Strong Devastator 30-day challenge. I am actually using this knife to do everything in my kitchen for 30 days. And please watch out for that video. It's going to be a fun video to see how I can survive 30 days using a Dow Strong Devastator 27-ounce, 12.5-inch chef knife without killing myself. Let me wet the brisket before I put my rub on. I'm going to put a little bit of au jus prep here. This is a secret technique to let you have supercharged flavors on your brisket. And just a little bit goes a long way. About 1 tablespoon of this au jus prep. And you kind of rub it down before you apply your rub product. And we're going to get these 2 briskets in a pit. Do the contest comparison between Jeremy Yoder's tallow paper against my hypothesis or idea using a tallow mop and see which one comes out better. I'm using my First Place USA beef rub on this brisket. The one with the toothpick is the tallow mop, and the one without the toothpick is the regular one, which we're going to do a tallow wrap. So tallow wrap versus tallow mop. All right, let's do the one that has a tallow mop first. And this one, we put no tallow on the paper. I showed you guys many times. It's 3 times wrap. Leave the toothpick in here to mark it. About 3.5 times the length of paper. Do the first fold over like so. Second fold over like so. Third one. Right, here's the tallow wrap, which is the control sample. It's not gonna stick, but let's see if we can get it to stick on here. That's close enough. All right, so tallow wrap, tallow mop. Let's put it and let it cook and let it get tender. We'll do a taste test after that. All right, let's do some slicing. Slice the point muscle. A few slices from here. A couple of slices from the flat. And the point. So this one is the tallow paper wrap, and you can see that it looks pretty good. And this one is the tallow mop. but no tallow on the paper. Also looks pretty good. Nice and soft. Nice smoke ring. Also nice smoke ring here. Very moist. Looks the same. And this one looks the same also. Nice and soft. It's got a drape. Same here. Nice drape. So, appearance wise, about the same between the tallow wrap, tallow mop. So this is Jeremy Yoder's idea. This one I just used the tallow and I painted it on the brisket as he was cooking. So looks about the same. So I can't tell the difference. So let's give it a taste test. Let's take a bite from this one first. All right, here we go. Shot here. So I'm gonna try the one for the tallow wrap first. Super tender. Good brisket. Try the point of the fatty. Delicious. Point. Fatty. I'm gonna try the. Okay, so this one is just the tallow mop itself. No tallow during the butcher paper wrap process. Pretty tender. Also very good. I'll try the point. First round. Going back eating the second round. If I can discern any differences. Very good. All right, we're gonna eat the third round. There's very subtle differences. This is for you, so we'll take one for the team here, guys. All right, it's very close. So I've gone through 3 rounds, eaten my way through both the point muscle and the flat muscle. The differences are subtle. Appearance-wise, about the same. So I think they're fine both ways. There's not a lot of liquid in the bag, so both bags are nicely oily, and the one that has the tallow wrap is much oilier. But honestly, in this one statistically invalid sample, we just one brisket cut in half, cook half with tallow wrap, the other half with tallow mop. I think in today's test, we just one brisket cut into 2 halves. Drum roll. The winner is this one. Okay, let me tell you what I noticed. This is just a little bit more tender and moist, and this one, both are very good. So we're now talking shades of gray, and let's say if the one that I use the tallow mop on it, let's give it a 10. 10 is the best, right? How far is this one behind? I'm a certified barbecue judge, so appearance same, taste same. I think the tenderness is slightly different, and they're cooking exactly the same pit, same process. But in terms of just the moisture, the unctuousness or the oiliness, the mouthfeel, overall eating pleasure, the one with the tallow mop is more pleasurable. And by what margin? If this was a 10, how far behind is the tallow wrap? I would say it's like an 8.5 or 9. So it's only like 1 point, maybe just a little bit over, shade over 1 point behind. Both are very good eating, and I think in today's one brisket shootout cut into 2 halves, this is the winner. All right. So is this conclusive? The answer is obviously not, but it gives me food for thought to conduct other experiments. So in this episode, number 2, between the tallow wrap and tallow mop wins. And the next thing to see is what we do is we combine 2, right? So if we combine the tallow wrap and the tallow mop, is it going to be a lot better? So right now it's a 10 versus a 8.75, right? So just 1.25 points behind in my book, in my judging book. So you need to go one step further to see if we can reach the pinnacle of brisket perfection. So in this episode, we did the tallow wrap against the tallow mop. The tallow mop wins. So we need to take it to the next round where we compare the tallow wrap against one that's done with both the tallow wrap and tallow mop to see how far the scores are apart. But in this particular one data point episode, tallow mop wins. All right, so let's go ahead now, feed Mr. Beans and let him see which one he decides is better. So I have the tallow mop and tallow wrap, both the muscles point and flat, and we'll see if Mr. Beans wants to try them. And let him see if he reaches the same conclusion I did. All right, Beans, you have to try it and see which one you like better. Okay, he went for the tallow mop first, and then he went to the tallow wrap. He went to the tallow mop. So what does that mean? So his first pick was the tallow mop. So Beans, you like the tallow mop better, or you like the tallow wrap better, or both are equally good? I think it's hard for him to tell. I don't know, but he did pick what I picked first, which was the tallow mop. So I hope that data point is helpful to you. I'm not sure that it's statistically significant at all. I know the math majors out there will be saying, Harry, that is a hokey test, because it is not conclusive. Okay. Hope you guys had fun watching this episode, and it's a learning episode, and I'm learning also. So the more important lesson in this episode is not so much the cooking, but the process of reaching brisket perfection, having the audacity and the courage to try different things. Even though I've cooked this many times, whenever there's new recipes, I'm always willing to try, because I consider myself a lifelong student of barbecue. So thanks, Jeremy Yoder, for sharing your insight on your idea, on your hypothesis. I hope this reproducibility of experimental results exercise is helpful to everyone watching. And I want to do a shout out for Jeremy for coming up with the idea. And looks like the tallow wrap works. The tallow mop works. Today's particular one data point showed that the tallow mop worked better. So can you draw any conclusions? I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep testing, doing more testing to see which one will be the best, and then trying to sort through this process I described called the bubble sort to reach the pinnacle of perfection, where you compare A and B, the better one moves forward. And you compare that winner against C, the winner compares against D, the winner of that compares against E, and that's how you get to perfection. When I became the first place USA champion in many different meat categories, it was done through brute force. So I have no special talent. I'm not a terribly good cook, but what I am is I'm very stubborn and very persistent, and I will keep trying. And if there's a way to open a combination lock, I will go from 000, 001, 002, eventually until I crack the code. And join me for the next episode as I continue to crack the brisket code using beef tallow. I could do a shout out also to my Patreons who are helping fund my experiments, keeping my channel going. If you guys find value in what I do, please go check out patreon.com. There's a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of Zoom sessions, a lot of one-on-one coaching in that site. So please give it a shot and let me know what you think.